What's going on? This is Mikey Williams. You checking out Scoop B Radio.
A birdie tells me this man has social media on lock. Scoopy Radio, another episode. We got my main man, Mikey Williams, sensation on social media, UCF swingman, talking all things hoops. Also, we got his attorney, my main man, Troy Owens. Brothers, welcome to Scoop B Radio.
Hey, good
Yes,
evening.
sir.
Yes, sir. So, Mikey, first and foremost, man, when I look at you and I look at your skill set and I look at social media, there's so many things that come into play. When you were playing basketball, did you ever fathom that you'd be the kid that was 17 years old with a sneaker deal with millions and millions of followers?
I didn't actually. When I was a kid, because I love the game since I was a kid. So the only thing I wanted to do is get to the NBA. I just think that God put all this in my life for a reason, So I know that I have a purpose with it.
San Diego is, I learned, the place to be for basketball. Obviously, you got guys like Jared Dudley that come to mind, an NBA champion, now assistant coach with the Dallas Mavericks. And then I look at Jared McCain. First and foremost, y'all got the same hairstyle. Is that a San Diego thing?
Nah, Jared McCain not from San Diego.
He's not.
Now Jared McCain, he from the IE. That's probably like an hour and a half north.
Okay.
Yeah. It might be a SoCal thing though, but my little taper a little different though.
Yeah, y'all got like that Kentucky Duke starting lineup thing going on.
You crazy.
What were those days in high school like, playing against him? And are you surprised with his success in the NBA?
I think through high school I played him one time, but no, I'm not. He was your hard work gonna pay off, you know what I'm saying? Where that's you gonna see it, you might see it quick, you might see it later down the line. But he was a McDonald's All-American, he went to Duke, he's always worked, so you keep working, your success gonna pay off. So he where he should be at.
You were one of the top high school players in the country. You garnered success, if I'm not mistaken, for playing with and playing against Bronny James. Which is better?
I like playing with Bronny. It's like a different feeling, like one thing I can say is the crowd, it was a lot like college. Like I played a few games where the crowd was very into the game. Even in high school I played a few games, but just having that environment in middle school, it was a little different. And it was kind of like when I was just gaining who I was, people was just starting to notice me. So I say playing with them was a little better. I'm a competitor though, so I definitely like going at them though. That's how it started.
Do you feel like the attention came more from playing against him, or do you think it came more from playing with him? Because I've seen it both ways, but I want to go straight to the horse's mouth.
I think playing against him kind of put me on, and then when I played with him, everybody, like a lot of people knew who I was, so I feel like it stamped it when I played with him. And it's like more people was like, oh, like, okay, like he's nice, you feel me? Just that platform.
You, to me, I think came at an interesting time in the digital space. I'm a little older than you, and so is your attorney, so I'm sure he can attest to this also. I remember when Slam Magazine came without social media. I remember the days of LeBron actually playing, Lenny Cook, and some of those other guys, even Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire. But as the years went on, you then saw John Wall, you saw Brandon Jennings, you saw that era of YouTube, and then that dovetailed into Zion Williamson and LaMelo Ball. What was your earliest recollection of the game of basketball pre-social media, and what caught your eye during that buzz of some of those names that I mentioned?
You said pre-social media?
Pre-social media, like when pre-Instagram and Twitter or TikTok, who were the guys? And then once that kind of buzz hit, who were the guys you paid attention to?
Before social media, I was watching the NBA, like LeBron, you know what I'm saying? Like pretty much LeBron was my favorite player. So I was watching all the Heat games. I think when Instagram came out, social media, I think he might have been on the Heat. I was young. I was probably like in sixth grade or something, fifth grade. So I was just on the NBA until then. And then once social media came out, I was on high school, like let me see. I was in middle school, so it was dudes like Zion Harmon, like Kyrie Walker. Like they was going into high school, but they more closer to my age. Like in high school, who was in high school? Like Marvin Bagley, like dudes like that class, 2020, what was it, like 2017 or something, 2016. Dudes like that, they had the Jelly Fam going. You know what I'm saying? But then, like when Zion came and he blew up, like he kind of had it in his hands. And Melo, you know what I'm saying? So I think Melo and Zion might have had the biggest impact as far as who I was watching coming up before I kind of got on.
And then you ultimately did sign a multi-year deal with Puma. From what it says, the biggest NIL deal ever for a high school athlete. And LaMelo is a Puma guy. I mean, that's a lot to kind of digest as a young kid. When did you first meet LaMelo, and did that synergy with Puma come about in any way for the two of you?
When was the first time I met Melo? I can't remember the first time I met Melo. It had to be some years ago, though. I was probably in high school. I think he might have still. I don't even think he went overseas yet. I think it might have been before then. But I'm not sure. If that had anything to do with the Puma deal. You know.
Okay.
But we've been cool. We've been cool since before that.
Who does LaMelo Ball remind you of?
He kind of reminds me. He's one of those guys who he's just himself. Cause you haven't really seen nothing like. At least I'm too young to. You feel me? Have really paid attention to see anybody else kind of like him. But there's certain dudes that kind of in their own category.
Learn me something. Drake. I feel like connected with you. Maybe it's a Team Light Skin thing. I got to check in with you. But like when you started to really buzz on social media, how did you guys all come together? And what was the relationship like?
With who? With Drake?
Yeah.
First time it was like 2020. It might have been during quarantine, you know. And then now he just told me pull up, chop it up with him and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was in LA, so I had pulled up, you know, chopped it 1-2 real quick for like 20 minutes, and then you know he's just been following me on social media. I ain't really never kept in too much contact. I know I did a little OVO shoot one time. I think I was like 10th grade. But other than that, you know, he's just been following me. I
gotta hear more about this OVO shoe. You can't just casually name drop and not give me some more specificities. Tell me more about that.
I think it was for like some drop or collection, but I think I was in like 10th grade probably, or maybe 11th grade. It was one of those years. But I just did. Actually, it was a long shoot. I was in there all day. I think, you know what, it might have been 10th grade. I think 11th grade. It was before we was able to start getting paid. So I did it for free, for real.
Who was there?
Who was there? Shit, I think I was there. I think Unc was there. Forgot who else was there. My mama might have been there. And then Drake wasn't there. That's what you asking.
Listen, I think if this basketball thing doesn't work out for you, but I think it will. I think this media thing, you were able to segue my next question, brother. You stealing my job.
What do you mean?
I think it's significant. I think when I look at a lot of young guys like you, again, I made mention of Lenny Cook, I made a mention of LeBron James, I made a mention of Carmelo Anthony, and some of those other guys, even Amari Stoudemire. A lot of times, a lot of success can come early. People see the good, the bad, the ugly. And I think what I like about you is that there's a redeeming quality about you. You know, I think a lot of people saw your name in things and were rooting on your downfall or had preconceived notions, as your lawyer is with us as well. There was an incident that happened in 2023 involving 5 or 6 people in a car. And your name was brought up in it, and there was a whole mess about it. So my question to you is, what happened, and how do you turn the page?
Troy, you want to answer that?
Absolutely, you can.
Tell me. You both
Okay.
can tell me, but we'll start off with your lawyer. What happened?
So the incident in 2023, there was a group of individuals that came to Mr. Williams' home. They were not invited. This was all orchestrated by a young lady who had a relationship with Mr. Williams' teammate at the time. And so, she explained through her testimony and reporting to the police that her calls and messages had gone ignored and she wanted some answers. So she took it upon herself to bring the group of people over to his house at, after midnight on a weekday, uninvited. The group approached the home. They were confronted and told to leave. There were arguments, things going both ways. There were threats that were being made both ways. And ultimately, there were some shots that rang out towards the vehicle. The vehicle had started leaving the house and stopped. The young lady got out of the car, threatened to kill the dog and made other threats. And ultimately, shots were fired. Mr. Williams was arrested and was charged as the person who shot the fire or shot the, made the shots. But ultimately, that was not proven in court. The evidence did not substantiate those charges. The charges actually were amended throughout the criminal process. And ultimately, Mr. Williams did plead to his conduct, which was making criminal threats rather than actually discharging a firearm.
That's a lot for somebody who at that point was 17, 18 years old. You were 17 at that time, right?
I think I was 18.
Bro, that's scary.
I was 17 or 18? Yeah, I was 18.
Mikey, when all this was going on, where were you?
I was at my house, but when the incident happened, when shots was fired, I wasn't even outside, so I didn't even see what happened. I was in the house.
I believe that in cases like this, whenever you have somebody that's a name, headlines, as a journalist, I can see how headlines sometimes can make people confused or people assume someone's guilt or innocence based upon the situation. At that point, for you, how did your family rally around you and keep your head above your shoulders, or just keep you motivated? Because that was devastating, I would imagine.
Right. Now, my family, they did a good job supporting me, man. Just sticking with me the whole time, making the necessary calls, doing the necessary steps we needed to do. You know what I'm saying? I just had faith the whole time. Like when you in it, you know what I'm saying? When you in court, you don't know how it's going to turn out. Like it's just your lawyer. Like you just get new information from your lawyers every. You know what I'm saying? Standing amount of time, and then being in court is kind of just like hearing, not really saying nothing, just, you know what I'm saying, just hearing everything, and he like, wow, like wow, you know what I'm saying? But I just have my faith in God, you know what I'm saying, because it's not something that I could have handled on my own. Like it took a lot of us to handle it, and it was hard, you know what I'm saying? Like I had my days, my time, like I was like that throughout that whole time. It just like I wasn't the same. Like I was me, but I wasn't the same. I was kind of a little like not in a bad way, but you can just tell like I had something on my shoulder, so maybe my outlets was a little different, what I'm doing or how I'm, you know what I'm saying, like who I'm around and stuff like that. But I feel like for the most part, like all of my family and the people that surround me, they all like held me up very well.
Attorney Owens, how familiar were you with your client prior to all of this? Did you guys know each other before then? And how did your relationship blossom before, during, and after?
So I was very familiar with Mr. Williams. I followed his basketball career. He actually played against some of my nephews who play basketball. So I was very familiar with him. I'd seen him play. In fact, before the incident, he played against my son. So I knew exactly who he was. Getting that call, it was very humbling for me. Whenever something or someone of this magnitude, has the trust in your abilities and everything, that was very humbling for me. So I was very excited to get the call and really just to get to work. Immediately, even before we were in court, I had the relationship with him. We were talking about what was going to happen, and we knew that this was going to be a huge media issue. And so wanted to, make sure to stay in front of it. But also as the attorney, I wanted to make sure that everything that I was doing and saying, we backed it up with the evidence. We weren't making these blanket claims like others did on social media. There were a lot of stories that came out that were just untrue. And so Mr. Williams and I made it clear from day one, this wasn't a case that we were going to litigate in the media because we knew the truth was going to come out. And seeing the shift from, a complaint holding almost 30 years of prison time to a misdemeanor change of plea, that speaks volumes about, the evidence and the weight of the case.
And Mikey, I'll say that I knew of you and I watched you on social, but then when I saw the stuff that happened in the case, I was like, I wasn't conflicted, but it was kind of like, man, like, what's going to happen? It was like this level of suspense. And you were going to go to Memphis. And Penny Hardaway, the head coach there, stood by you throughout that whole process, which I thought was so cool. Did it hurt that you couldn't go? And how much of a redeeming story is it at what you're doing at UCF?
It definitely hurt me a lot that I couldn't go just because, I just wanted to play for Penny, Penny's a great, you know what I'm saying? Like that's so much game I could just soak up from. Like I just had a million questions, and this, that, and the third. But I appreciate him for standing by me because 99% of the other people, other coaches, you feel me, at other schools, that wouldn't have happened. It's just that it was what it was at that point with the school. You know what I'm saying? Because it went past him. It wasn't on him or nothing. If it was, I would have stayed there. I wouldn't have left. I just had to make a move. But being here, it's challenging. Like you would think it'd be easy because it's like, you feel me? Like, okay, it's tough. Like I'm just blessed that I'm on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm blessed that I'm able to hoop. Like I know it'll get better. It's all a process. Like it's not just gonna happen like that. Like I knew it was ground zero, so gotta work all the way back up. Like my talent, my hard work got me here. Like not nothing else. Not what nobody didn't say it for me. Not none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just being here. I'm starting to learn the ins and outs of it. So it's just all building my character, I think.
How did the relationship with UCF come about?
Coach Waterman. It came about Coach Waterman. Think he had already knew Unc and my pops a few years ago. I think he recruited me at a different school than one of the other schools. So when the time came and I was in the portal, they made their calls and I kind of just checked my few things off the list and I was like, I'm ready to rock. Like I was in the mindset and the mode where it's like, I ain't trying to like, look, I need someone to take a chance on me because I know a lot of people not going to take no chance on me. You feel me? I ain't going to sit here and wait to flirt with my options. Like this ain't that. You feel me? I know what it is. So it was like I committed quick because it was like, I was just trying to put my case behind me because it was just fresh. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got to get somewhere. I got to get to it. Like these people wrote me off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how that happened.
Does the fact that people know about your case, people have Google, and the fact that a lot of my media peers do exist, does the negative press motivate you to work harder or does it hurt?
The one thing I've learned with my mindset's changed like a lot over the years. Like I'm always hungry, you know what I'm saying? But I've learned to be calm. Like just stand on my 10 throughout any situation. Like I try not to get too high or too low or I try not to let a situation like take the best advantage of me to where it's like driving me crazy. Like I accept what it is, you feel me? Like I'm feeling all emotions and stuff, but I feel like wake up tomorrow, go get better, repeat it every day. Like eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be something new, So I feel like I just use it. I use it to drive me. It's like deep down, it might not come off as that, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I've been through all this, like this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't it. I got
Counsel,
more. I got more fun.
you got more time. You got your youth, and you got God on your side. Counsel, tell me something. In this case, is it comparable to anything that you've worked on, or even anything in the media that you've seen?
No, it is not. This is something that I think the name, Mr. Williams' name, drove the allegations, drove the charges, drove a lot of what happened here. I mean, we hear about scandals and things like that, but I just think that the motivation behind all of this, it was his name, and people saw dollar signs and went after it. And I mean, and that pursuit is still going on. There's still people seeking restitution in the criminal case that we don't believe they deserve. And that's a matter for further litigation. It is not something that I've dealt with before. This was a unique experience, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with them.
Mikey, I don't want to talk about this all day because there's other things that are going on. Specifically, the fact that you're at UCF. When I think of UCF, for some reason, I think of Michael Jordan's son and Taco Fall. What have you learned? What did you know about UCF? And what does the school itself have to offer that you like outside of just basketball?
I didn't know UCF. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know who UCF was. I just knew that the coach was Johnny Dawkins. I figured out the coach was Johnny Dawkins. So you know what I'm saying? I did my little research, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I need a coach like this. You know, I need a coach of this type right here. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell coach, like, stay on me, coach. Like, stay on me. Always stay on me. So, that was the biggest part. But aside from basketball, my life is basketball, man. I don't do nothing else. I just come home and go back to the gym. I don't do nothing else. Like, right now is that lock-in time. Like, I got everything on the line, I feel like, so I can't, no slip ups. I can't come to the house, go back to the gym. That's all I know.
Hearing you talk about basketball, I think of two guys. One that's more your contemporary, and Ace Bailey, and one that is still a living legend, in Kevin Durant. Who are some of the NBA players that you still count as a friend or a mentor or just a peer that you soak up a lot of knowledge from?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I say Carmelo Anthony. We done tapped in a few times. I know he supported me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta think now. You know what? Off the top of my head, I can't really say, like, because I know a lot of them, you know, so I can't really say like who specifically. I don't wanna not mention anybody either, but it's not too many, like, especially since I had my case. When my case started, you know, even from there till like now, it's like I don't talk to a lot of people no more, like, they be in the NBA and stuff, you know. It's just like, you know how it goes. Like, I'm over here, they over there, you know. I got to worry about my own race. They running their race, you know. When we see each other, what's up, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of stuff I just had to figure out on my own, you know.
A more fair and inbounds question. You are in Central Florida. The Orlando Magic are neighbors. You were recruited by Penny Hardaway. The Orlando Magic's Paolo Banchero, to me, is a walking stat sheet filler. Mm-hmm. You being a fan of Penny, what do you see in Penny that might translate into Paolo? Do you see a comparison?
I think their games are different. I don't necessarily see a comparison. I think that Paolo's going to be great as well, though, for sure. Yeah, they kind of got different games. I mean, they both big. Paolo a little bigger. You know, they got face-up game, you know, good wiggle. I think Penny's more of a point guard, though. Like, I think Paolo's kind of like a face-up, stretch the floor type of, you know what I'm saying? But Paolo's a dog, though, so he gonna go as far as he wants.
When I look at Paolo, I see actually a combination of both LeBron and Andre Iguodala.
That's a good comparison.
When Iguodala was drafted and he was playing for Philly, I always thought that Iguodala was like a blue collar LeBron. And when I look at Paolo, I just see a guy that can fill up a stat sheet. But I also think that when you play in the league, you got to have multiple skill sets. You can't just be good at one thing.
Oh no, for sure. Just even the way the game flows, you're not gonna be able to do the same thing every night. It might flow different, so you might gotta your pass is gonna be there one night. Your scoring might be there. Certain shots, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you gotta have.
That said, for those scouts and for those teams, at the next level, whenever you make that decision, for those who may have doubts or people who just look at what happened over the last couple of years, the new version of you or the new and improved version of you, what do you offer to an NBA team, both as a player and as a citizen of the world?
As a player, I offer energy, a lot of energy. I go hard. I'm locked in on defense. I've learned to be locked in and really care about defense, So I think that drives me offensively, I'm a smart player. I love the game. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help my team win. You know what I'm saying? You can go down the list. Like, I'm gonna work hard. You know what I'm saying? Like everything I do, like I know what's on the other side of this. So just that drives me to just be the best version of me. And as a person, I'm humble. I'm easy to get along with. A lot of people just haven't met me. That's what it is. A lot of people would just kind of see me through the internet. They see the intensity I play with on the court. And they kind of try to like, oh, he's the same person off the court, like very like loud, I guess you could say. But I wouldn't say that's the case though. I think I'm very humble. Like I said, I get along with people. Like I like doing community stuff, like helping the community, helping people in need. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm just fit for the job. Anything that somebody need out of me, I think I could provide it to my best abilities.
I got questions. So. A couple more questions at that. You were on Andrew Reese's podcast, and if you were reading the comments, everybody was talking about how nonchalant you are, and B, you were just. It felt like she was feeling you more than you were feeling her. But I think that's just your body language. Can you kind of break down that interview? Because I kind of was reading the comments and I kind of was feeling them a little bit.
Nah, Angel cool for sure. That interview though, a lot of people do say like my body language be like I be very laid back. Like even I might be locked in. Like even like in practice or something. Like I might be locked in, but like my body language might like look like I'm not or something, or like I'm just chilling. Like my boy JJ, he'll be like, hey, fix your body language. I'm like, what you mean? Like I'm locked in, but that's something I think I gotta work on though. You know what I'm saying? But I was just really just hearing her questions out. That was it. You know what I'm saying? I was just paying attention.
What does she mean to the game of basketball, the women's game and the game of basketball at large?
To the women's basketball, she brings a lot of attention, and I'm not a woman, so I can't speak on what she like, how a woman feels about what she brings.
Smart man.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, just to have her bring attention to the women's game, I think that creates a lot more spaces for other women in the game, to show what they can do it, you know what I'm saying? Kind of get that same little traction, like, you know what I'm saying? Get their little business going and stuff like that. So I think that she's actually creating other opportunities for more women out there.
Especially the fashion side of it.
Yeah, for sure. They take that. Yeah. I like that about the WNBA, though. They got that good fashion. They be putting it together.
Counsel, I got to ask you, for your client to see this redemption story, what do you make of it, and what does this say for young athletes?
So I think that this is a good example of persistence and determination. I mean, in life, we're all going to have setbacks, some intentional, some unintentional. And just to see him persevere through this, to maintain his dedication, to improving his game, even throughout the midst of the criminal case and everything. and just to keep a strong head on him. This going through a criminal case is tough. You have to be mentally tough. And that is multiplied by all of the publicity because of who he is. So I can't even fathom, what his days were like, not being able to go on social media without seeing people ridiculing you, talking about you, people writing you off. And, it's very public. So I commend him for his efforts on staying solid, keeping his head focused on basketball. And I think that this is a true, like you said, a redemption story, just to let people know not to let any slip ups, define you. You can recreate yourself. You can rebrand. And that's exactly what he's doing now. I'm proud of him.
Mikey, as I'm hearing your attorney talk, for some reason I hear, never would have made it. What was on your playlist when you were going through this? And what is on your playlist pregame?
You said what was on my playlist going through this?
Yes.
I say it was a lot of no cap. I make music too, so I think I was listening to a lot of my music just because, like, when I go in the studio, like, music was kind of a release for me. Like, some people might write or some people might talk to whoever their person is. I just think that me being able to be me, but freely and like, because it's like sometimes I have a hard time explaining myself to people, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like through my music, I could just say it all, like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I was listening to a lot of my music as well. It was very few people. I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't too many people. Probably about 2, 3. Some Rilo Rodriguez was in there. Probably listen to some NBA YoungBoy. You know what I'm saying? Probably a little few more, but now though, pretty much the same. I listen to like KT Foreign. He from San Diego. The homie Yob, he from San Diego. My boy D5, we are from the same city and stuff. I listen to a lot of rappers from my city, and then just a few little mainstream.
Every now and then when I do interviews with folks, I give them the opportunity as we're wrapping up at Scoopy Radio to ask me or mention, is there anything in this interview that I didn't ask that I should ask? Did I do that?
Nah, nothing off the top of my head. I got more answers for you though. You got a question?
I think I foresee this being a long time relationship, and I'm sure over the years I will take that opportunity. I'll take you up on that. But more than anything else, man, I wish you both well. I wish you both success, and keep grinding.
Thank you. I appreciate you, fam.
Yes, Counsel, sir. You and your client are off the hot seat.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon.